Good morning. Happy Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas, Christmas Eve, yay! What are
I
you doing today, Georgiana?
everything. It's weird because we're not having like a big gathering, but we're still gonna bake and cook. This is the second round because we baked and cooked and mailed to
Mm,
family, and now this is like for us. We're gonna do a second round of baking and cooking.
Fun.
How about you?
We're going to Carlos's brother's house, and we roast the pig, so that's our tradition. So it's pig roasting at Carlos's brother's house. His
Great
name is
mail.
Pedro.
Send me mine. Mail me some. Mail me some.
We always have so much leftover that I feel like, we don't get to eat all of it.
Mine. Just put it in the box. Next day air to New York City.
I'm gonna send you the chicharrón. I think that's like the best.
Yeah.
The crispy
That
skin.
crispy.
Mm.
I'll tell you, I love the chicharrones with like avocado and there's a sauce here. They like over there's a place near my house. They make it with arepas and they put it with this sauce.
Oh
Heaven.
gosh,
I'm in heaven.
yeah, I'm salivating right now. Well, let's get
The holidays are about.
Our topic today is we're going to talk about 2021 goals for 2021, and then we want to divide it into two: your personal goals and then your business goals. So let's get started. It's going to be fun, motivating, and if you don't start now, you probably won't be able to catch up because the beginning of the year, that's when everything starts.
It's true. It happens every year. You're like, okay, come January, I'm going to plan. And then like in January, you're looking for a plan and for all these things. And then before you know it, January's over. So you're right. It is a good idea to start. Usually for me, that last week in December is when I'm planning for January. So we're going to give you some tips today. And we've kind of broken it down into past, present, and future so that we can kind of give you a train of thought for how you can put these goals together for yourself and for your business so that you're not feeling like, where do I start? So that you have somewhere to start and a framework. So let's start with the past. We call it reviewing and evaluating. So Millie, what does that look like for you when you review your past?
Well, I love that because when I look at my previous years, and it doesn't have to be only your previous years, it can be your last 10 years.
Mm.
And then just say, okay, I could have done this another way. I could have improved in this area. So make sure that you know what your previous years look like. If you made your goals, if you achieved your goals for the prior years, and if you have a calendar, you're going to be able to see all your progress from previous years. Look at my beat up one.
So many. I feel like we all have that one, but I think it's a good sign. That shows that your plan on your calendar is in use. If it looks brand new and pristine, then I'm like, that's not the one that I use.
Doesn't have character.
No, beat it up, use it, carry it with you every day.
How about you, Georgiana? What do you?
Mm-hmm. I like that you said to review the previous years. That's something that I'm going to add to my to-do list for this year. I usually tend to look at the past year because my planner is sort of built like that. So I will usually have at the beginning of my planner a list of things that I'm doing for the year that I've planned from last year for 2020. So I listed out all the things I wanted to accomplish for 2020. And I kind of, go back to that list and see what I've done. But I also have, I write a personal statement to myself. Some people put a letter in the mail and mail it to themselves. I just write it out in my planner so that when I'm ready, I can go back and why can't I find it now? Because I'm in the middle of transitioning planners. So I think I moved it to the new planner already. But I'd like to write down what my goal is. And I sort of write it like a declaration to myself. Like this year, Georgiana, I want to do this, this, and this by this deadline, signed Georgiana on this date. So I go back to that and I see if I accomplished it, the things that I set out. And if I did, I celebrate. And if I didn't, then I try to look back at the year and say, okay, well, what happened? Why I didn't do that? Did I not get out enough? Did I not set daily goals? And I look at I like that you said to look at your planner in the days. I'll go into like the individual days and actually look at my schedules. Like, okay, I wrote that goal that day, but did I do anything to get myself closer to that goal? And a lot of times you'll see the pattern where either your goal that you had in the beginning got broken down and lost over the year. Or for me, sometimes I'll be writing it, and I'll say, you know what, this is a faith, hope, wish goal. I'm just gonna keep hoping and praying, and it'll keep, one day it'll come. So that's kind of how I review the past.
I love it. I love how you say that, you look into the activities, your goals, and see what it is that you got accomplished. I love that. But in to our sanity and our defense, sometimes we write out goals and something else becomes a priority.
Yeah.
So make sure that you don't beat yourself up thinking that you are going to accomplish this year. Make sure you reevaluate, and then you say, okay, I didn't accomplish this because I prioritized this. My goals changed, so that's why I couldn't accomplish that. And also, I'm going to show you that I also write out the things that I like to do at the beginning of the year in my planner.
You do too?
Look at that.
That running list. Yeah, that is what we would say is like the future. So look at the past, you evaluate, and then for the future, you go do those things that you were dreaming of. And I love that for you, it's like a brain dump.
Yeah,
Everything else.
Anything. You just, the best way to do this is, that works for me anyways. I like to wait until everybody leaves the house, maybe play some music, relaxing music if you like. Yes, or go outside, enjoy the nature if it's not too cold.
There's something about the fresh air, even on the cold day, like just to sit in the park with the crisp air, it kind of like gets your senses on high. I'm out.
Yes, I agree. I always like being outside. So, imagine everything that you want to do and don't worry about how you're going to get there. Like, you're going to be writing things that come out of your brain, and just write it and write it and write it. And then you're going to forget about it. Leave it in your calendar. If you want to look at it every once in a while, you could. But I'm telling you, those goals are going to be embedded in your subconscious. And, the next year you look at all those goals again, and then you scratch off the ones that you have done already, and, add new ones and add the same ones so you can accomplish it in later years. I'm telling you, this is going to keep you so motivated and unstoppable.
I like that because you know how they say, like, when you're learning something new, the best way for you to embed it in your brain is to write it down. So in the same way with your goals, it's sort of like you taking what's in your heart and your mind and then bringing it onto paper. So that kind of reinforces that connection in your life. And I like to write my goals often because just by seeing them, it kind of keeps me refocused. Stuff happens 100% to throw you off track and distract you and get in the way. And, like you said, sometimes your goals change, but if you're writing it constantly, each time you write it, you're going to think about it. And in that moment, you're either going to do that evaluation to say, okay, is this something that I really want, or am I just saying it because, or is this, or it's going to reinforce that it is something that you really want. Hey, Heather, thanks for joining.
Thank you. Good morning, Heather. We're doing great. We're planning, getting motivated and excited for the new year. Yeah. And also, one of the things that I do is, like, each month, write down whatever it is important to me. Something comes up and I want to, work on it. Then I write it out for that month, and then I look at it. So it's always good that you stay connected.
Yes.
With your goals. How
You
about visual? What do you have to share about visual, Georgiana?
Same thing with writing. I think that having something that you can visualize, that you can see, it again helps reinforce that in your brain. So right now, you may not feel like you know you've made your list, you look back at your past, you evaluate it, but sometimes you don't really feel like it's possible. Sometimes it seems like it's just such a huge goal or so far in the future. I know I have some goals that I'm just like, I've been waiting 12 years for this. Like, come on. But if you keep it, you too. Yeah, but it's easy to get sidetracked, as the time goes by.
Mhm.
But when you have a visual of it, that picture sort of gets burned into your brain. And if
Yeah.
it's something in a place where you can go back and see it, I actually keep my vision board as the background. Whoops, that's personal messages. Don't read that. But as the background on my cell phone. So all of my goals are here on my phone. Sometimes I'll just kind of, when you have downtime, just slide over to that page and I'll look at it and see what's happening. Some of the things I've accomplished, some of the things are not anywhere near accomplishing, but it reinforces it in my brain. So I
Yeah.
love making a vision board, and I think sometimes we overcomplicate the vision board process. Like,
Mhm.
you have to have a vision board party and store up magazines for 6 months. But in this day and age, Pinterest, Canva, Google search, that's all you need to create your vision board. And it's what's more important is putting it in a place where you can see it. How do you normally do your vision board?
The same. I go to Google. I actually type what I like. If I want cabin in the mountain, I want to see the cabins in the mountains, and I want to see the ones that I like, and the one that I can relate to, and then print it out. Doesn't matter whose cabins is. So you just print
Just
it
for the
out.
picture.
You're same for a house. Like you want a house that has 2-3 car garage or whatever it is that you like. High pitch, you know,
High
what
ceilings, big windows. Yes.
uphill, modern look, Floridian look, and
Yeah.
just print it out and put it on that vision board. Don't worry about how that's gonna happen because things will change, and that stimulation that you do to your dreams and your goals is gonna make you want to do more and more and more and accomplish more and more as far as your profession. So let's talk about our profession. How do
I
you your
actually
goal?
lump them all together. I find, to be honest, I find it really hard to separate my personal and my professional goals because I know, like, sometimes we're talking about it, it's like, okay, well, what are your business goals? I'm like, I just told you. But my business goals are what helps me get all my things.
Yeah, it is. It does come connected, but I would like to mention that there are times, and I'm going to tell you, this happened to me one year. One year, I was like, I had a lot of a lot of goals, long term goals, but I didn't connect them to my professional work,
Yeah.
my profession. So, I started saying, okay, so I want all these things. And yes, I'm doing great on all these things. But what am I going to use my earnings when I do achieve these goals? How much money I would like to earn when I make President's Club or Honor Society
Yeah.
or what?
It has to be connected.
Yes. And then I realized, I was like, okay, so this is going to motivate me more because when I reach President's Club, I'm going to have these many earnings. When I achieve this level, let's say gold leader, when I achieve a gold leader level, I'm going to have these much earnings. And then you kind of put all of it together and you said, okay, so now that I know where I'm going to get, I know how much money I'm going to have, then I can start accomplishing some of the short-term goals or maybe saving for that long-term goal or stepping stones because you know that I if you want a big house, you want a mansion, for example, then you want to start maybe with a startup home that's going to lead you to a mansion. So that's what I mean, the stepping stones.
Hmm.
um, but I love that.
I lump them. I don't know if it's because I've been an Avon rep for so long or because I've always had the entrepreneur mindset, but I always felt like, for example, like with the house, when I look at how am I going to get a house, then okay, I'm going to need the money to buy the house. I need the income to tell the mortgage company that I can afford to have this house. So for me, I look at, okay, well, my Avon earnings, my business, I need to get those things to work in order for me to get that. So I think that even when I'm planning my goals, automatically like step back and take that big picture outlook. But you're right. If you haven't already done that, or if you're not already in the mindset where you're seeing the connection between your business and your personal goals, even like weight loss and health,
Hmm.
honestly, I found that like this year working from home has completely changed. Like I've barely eaten fast food. I've cut
Hmm.
down on the salt so much. I didn't realize it, but the other day I had something that was really salty that I used to have all the time and I had no problem. And this time I was like, I can't eat this. It's just super salty. And my mom was like, because you've been cooking and not using as much salt, you can't handle the salt that you used to have. And I was just like,
That's amazing. You're right, right?
it's the little things. So,
Yeah.
even how you work your business can affect your health because now I'm eating healthier. I have more time to prepare home meals. And then when I do, I mean, I haven't really gone out to eat because I've just had the time. But me and my mom, since we've been home, we've been trying like Asian cuisine and Indian cuisine. We've been trying out all these recipes and even spending that time with her. If your goal is to spend more time with your family, okay, how can you leverage your business? I know Milagros can speak to this. How can you leverage your business so that you can spend more time at home? One of the reasons I've always loved Avon was because I heard the stories of representatives who were working their business from home and they had that income coming in, but it also allowed them the freedom and flexibility to attend all their kids' games and shows and activities and really be involved in their home, home life. So for me, that was something like, okay, I don't have children yet, but down the line, if I can get my Avon in a place where I could do it full time with a stable income, be able to afford my house and stay home with future kids, you know, that's a part of the dream.
That's an emotional why all the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It
that
all works together.
Yes, it does. Because if you know exactly what it is that you want and you have those clear goals, I'm telling you, there's not gonna be a downtime, no distraction, no inconsistency. So I would like for all of you to really consider, maybe if you're having a tough time doing your goals and writing them down and getting motivated, there's a lot of training on vision boards out there. There's a lot of things that you can take from other personal motivators that have been in the profession for many years. We have gotten a lot of tips from them, and we're explaining how it is that works for us, because we really focus on doing all these things, especially at the beginning of the year, to carry through the entire year.
But start with that blank piece of paper and a pen. Really, that's really all you need. And just start writing down, if you can do things differently, what
Mhm.
would you want? How would your life to be? How would you want your life to be? Where would you like to go? Who would you like to spend your time with? How would you like your life to look? Like if you're Einstein said that the person who keeps doing the same thing expecting a different result, that's the definition of crazy. So look at where you are. And if you're not happy with your position, what would you like to change? If you are happy with where you are, then how can you improve upon it? So, don't look at vision boards as being ungrateful. That's not what it's about. Or, don't be afraid of putting your goals down on paper because somebody might read them. I know for a long time I was afraid to write things down because I was told, the story of the diary of Anne Frank, that was that girl's diary that they published and made into a book for everybody to read. So I always had that in the back of my mind. If I write it down, somebody else will see it. And it was a little bit scary, but I realized that my goals aren't first of all anything to be ashamed of or to be afraid of other people seeing. And if I am finding that I am afraid of it, then afraid of saying it out loud, then I really need to look at why that is. Am I afraid that I really won't accomplish it? And is it that fear that's keeping me from saying it? And if that's the case, then I really need to take the time to tackle that and say, okay, well, if I don't really believe that I can accomplish this, or if I'm so afraid to say this out loud that or write it down that I'm sort of like pushing it to the back of my head that it's not possible for me, then I really need to think about that, analyze it, and mentally like do the reverse. Like, I can do this. I believe I can do this. I am worth it. That is something that is for me. You know, sometimes you have to psych yourself up, but that might be something that you need to focus on for the next couple of days. Like, every morning doing a positive affirmation so that you do feel comfortable saying that. I know for a long time I was afraid to consider myself a leader or a top seller or successful. I don't know why, but like, and Milagros kind of gets me on that all the time because she would say something and I'd be like, oh no, I'm just a regular person. And
yeah. Hello, you're famous, okay?
She loves that. And I'm always like, I know I'm not. But
you are.
I'm famous. I know, I'm still doing it. I'm working on it. That is my work in progress. But it took me a while to be comfortable saying, like, okay, I am doing well in my business. Baby steps. I'm not comfortable saying, yeah, I'm famous, but like, I'm doing well. I could do that. But even that is better than I was in 2016.
You know that goes with you know, I used to have I don't expect things from people, like, you know, like if you're gonna give me a gift, I would be like, oh, you didn't have to do that. And I'm like, I read something that said, if someone gives you a gift, you know, be grateful and to say thank you so much, I appreciate it, because that, oh, and the same thing, you're famous, you say thank you.
I just say thank you because if I don't, Milagros is going to attack me.
So yeah, I mean, it's part of the journey. I'm telling you, it's what you mentioned, that writing out goals and not you know, showing it to people, or being afraid for somebody else to see it. That is true, because I had a hard time doing that. And you know why? Because at the moment we were going through hard times.
Yeah. It doesn't seem possible for you.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to write it, right?
Yes, we were paying, you know, paying off debt. Some days we couldn't even financially make it. So, you know, for you to say, okay, it's just an example. I want to live in a big house, and then your present situation, you're not even making ends meet where you are. Then that could be, you know, detrimental. But if you change your mindset, and that was a great topic, if you change your mindset and you said, you know, I'm going to do this, I deserve it, and I'm going to do it regardless of what my mind says, and you know, you're not going to care about what anybody says and how someone is going to react. Just become accountable yourself for that goal. And you know, what works for me is to share it with someone in your family, someone close.
Someone you can trust. Someone who's not going to tear you down or judge you. You have to find the right person. It's not for everybody, because a lot of people, especially if their situation isn't at a point where they can imagine themselves doing the things you're talking about, then it can become, like you said, detrimental. But yeah, be careful who you share with, but don't be afraid to share.
That's great, Heather. Yeah, we all went through that. You know, it's I mean, it happens, especially when when you see that your family is also struggling, and your friends are struggling, and people around you are struggling, including your struggles. I mean, it just generate a feeling of you know, that you don't believe. So all that, we're going to take it out, and you're going to write down everything that comes to your mind. I always like this question, and I know it's like a broad question, but it's, if you ask yourself, if money was no object, what Yes, if you had millions, trillions.
I say if you were the next Oprah, where would you go? What would you do? And then people are like, okay, I understand Oprah money.
Yeah, who are you envisioning to be? What is it that you see yourself doing? And that, that right there, yes, it's so invigorating, and it's such a therapy that, people who do not dream and who do not believe, they're into their own unhappiness. So what do you have to lose? Enlighten yourself. This is your time to write out everything, and just, have a party with yourself.
Yeah,
Why not?
I love it. And thank you, Heather, for sharing in the comments, that you struggle with the same thing. But girl, at 27, you are ahead of the game, because now you're going to flip that script and move forward. So you're going to be a young person who is, making that change. And from here on out, it's going to be different for you. So I love that you're getting on that bandwagon early. Sometimes there are a lot of things we all wish we knew when we were younger. So it's great that you're going to get an early start on it. And then you'll be able to tell the people who are younger than you, look, this is where I was, this is what I did, and this is how it made it different. So you are in a really great place. But
I want to be 27.
you look it. So
Oh, I don't feel it.
hashtag that's that anew.
See, I'm receiving. I'm receiving.
But
Right.
we'll put on your list for next year. Be 27 again.
Yes. Or
But,
maybe pretend.
right? Hey, it's nothing but a number. It's how you believe. So
It really
great
is.
chat, guys. Great chat. I love everything you guys said. I love what you were sharing. Hey, Natasha, I see you in the chat box as well. But yeah, guys, this is your chance to sort of open the floodgates for anything to be possible. And I share with you guys all the stuff that I've done in my business years ago. Every year I say there's stuff that I did this year that I never imagined I could. So look at those things, and those will give you like fuel to imagine even more. But yeah, you do have to be careful of who you surround yourself with and their belief window, because I think that is probably the biggest obstacle, if you're in a place and everybody around you is in a place. But I'll share a quote that somebody shared with me that I think helped tip the scales in my mind. Early in my Avon career, someone said to me that just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it can't be done. And anytime I wrote a goal or said something, or, sometimes that thought kind of creeps into your mind, like, oh, I wish I could do that, or I wish I can go there. And immediately there's that other voice like, no, you can't do that. You'll never go there. You'll never be that person. I would always counter with that quote: just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it can't be done. And that sort of became like my mantra to overcome those initial obstacles. So write that down. Put it in a place where you could see it. I know Jessica Z loves Post-it notes as reminders around her house to of little things, her goals and her affirmations. Maybe write that in your planner, or just keep saying it to yourself every time you hear that little voice saying, "No, you'll never do that." Or even as you're making your list and you feel that fear of writing something down, tell yourself, just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it can't be. Write it down.
Yes, and just write it down, and connect with yourself and ask yourself, how does that feel? How did that make you feel to actually write down something that stimulates your mind, and and helps you dream big. And we're gonna be talking about next week also, and
Probably all the way through January.
to make sure that all of you get this, we're going to be sharing how we're doing it, and sharing some tips on how to plan your 2021. And I have a request for all of you who are watching, that on the next chats that you mentioned, I have my 2021 planner. I have my 2021 goals. I started writing it down. I love it. Ooh, gold. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
it's the same boss agenda, but I was a little damaging, so I needed some protection.
I love it. So pretty. Well, this was the only one I was able to find.
Well, that's kind of the beauty of being your own planner designer. You kind of can do what you want.
I see. So if you like to see information on Georgiana's boss planner, contact her. She has a lot of great ideas in there for goal setting. I keep it on my desk. So
For
make sure
reference,
you have it. You know, maybe you're right because
you have to write in it.
um,
She's like, I'm saving it.
yes, I started writing, but I say, you know what, I want to keep this forever because you wrote a lot of great tips on how to set goals
I
there.
even turned to the SMART goals page.
Yes, see that? So, you know, this is a reference because this is so pretty. And this gets full of like brainstorming stuff that I just
Don't worry. It
enjoy.
doesn't stay pretty. It gets eaten up.
I love it. You know, I need to add some pictures too to my planner. So I think I'm gonna do that too.
Pictures, dashboards. I haven't had a chance to share this year, but I've been doing more covers. So have
Yeah.
fun with it. You know, make it yours, guys. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. You know, the point is just get your ideas down.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I like that. Well, thank you, Heather, for sharing. Yes. All we have to do is pray and pray for them, pray for ourselves, and we have to come on and do what we have to do because our family depends on us. So we definitely have to make sure that we stay focused and that we say that we're going to say no room for depression. If you feel like you're then getting depressed or discouraged, you know, just pull yourself out of that hole, start writing down good things that invigorate you and make you feel empowered. And you can pull yourself out every time from discouragement just by reconnecting with your goals, by staying busy. A lot of people, you know, do not stay busy when they get discouraged is because they're non-active. So you want to have activity. You want to have, like Tony Robbins says, motion creates emotion. So if you're active, if you're jumping up and down, you're going to feel happy. Everything is going to start turning around. So try it. If you feel like you're like, ah, then start, you know, jump. Yeah. I love that about Tony Robbins because even if I'm just watching him, I'm like, yeah, yeah.
You have to. You have to.
It's like contagious. I don't know how you did it with being right there on
One
that.
year we have to go together again. We have to
Oh
do
God,
one together. Good
yes,
stuff.
yes,
Shout
I
out
love
to my
that.
homegirl, Tanisha. We went together.
Jealous. You want to see Tony Robbins?
We'll go together when everything settles down.
Next
But you
time.
don't have to be there just by yourself. I like to put on like good music where I'm just like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. And then you just go. But hopefully that'll carry you guys through. I know you guys are watching like, yes, we can do this. But
You can play some music for the next one. What do
oh
you?
yeah. Oh no, copyright. We're not gonna be able to on Facebook.
Oh, that's
We
true.
can imaginary dance.
Uh-huh. Oh, we can sing. It's the final countdown.
I will spare you guys my singing, I promise. Milagros will sing.
Well, thank you all so much for watching.
Yes, have a happy holiday, an awesome week. I'm looking forward to hearing your goal progress experience.
Yes, thank you so much. And we look forward to another Thursday with Georgiana.
And Milagros.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bye,
Love you
everyone.
guys. Mwah.